What happens when four boys decide to go see the body of a boy their age that had accidentally been killed near their rural homes? But soon their journey becomes a big adventure. Easy. You got this movie right here from Rob Reiner and from one of Stephen King's works before he even tackled Misery. Here's my review of Stand By Me. Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. So, greetings, my fellow YouTubers, and welcome again to Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. I'm the Big D, and this time around, I bring to you a review of the 1986 coming of age drama flick Stand By Me, released by Columbia, directed by Rob Reiner, based on Stephen King's 1982 novella The Body, set in the fictional town of Castle Rock in 1959, which does, I believe, that was what became inspiration to create the studio of Castle Rock Entertainment. The film stars Wil Wheaton, River Phoenix, Corey Feldman, and Jerry O'Connell as four boys who set out on a journey to find the dead body of a missing boy. The film's title, of course, is derived from the 1961 song of the same name by Ben E. King, which is played during the film's end credits. The film was released on August 22nd, 1986, and I've decided, since we lost Rob Reiner last month, I decided to celebrate the film's 40th anniversary early, so I wouldn't have to worry about doing it for its anniversary in August. Anyway, it got good reviews and what have you, and got nominated for an Academy Award and two Golden Globes. And Rolling Stone has called the film a staple of youthful nostalgia and the rare movie that necessarily gets better with time. In 1985, writer Goran Lachance, or Gordy, reads a newspaper article about the death of his childhood best friend Chris Chambers. In an extended flashback, Gordy tells about his experiences on Labor Day weekend in 1959 when he was 12. On that weekend, Gordy is with Chris and their two other friends, well, Teddy Duchamp and Vern Tessio, in a treehouse in their hometown of Castle Rock, Oregon. Vern tells the other boys that he overheard his older brother Billy talking with his friend Charlie about finding the dead body of a missing boy named Ray Brower outside of town. Billy did not tell the police of his discovery because doing so would likely have led the police to discover a car theft he and Charlie committed. Gordy, Chris, Tay, and Vern decide to look for the body, believing that the discovery could make them local heroes. After Chris steals his father's Colt M1911A1 pistol, he and Gordy run into town bully John Ace Merrill and Chris's older brother Richard, or Eyeball. Ace threatens Chris with a lit cigarette and steals Gordy's Yankees cap. The cap had been a gift from Gordy's older brother Denny, who had died in a car crash earlier that year. The boys begin their journey. After stopping at a junkyard for water, they are caught trespassing by owner Milo Pressman and his dog Chopper. Milo calls Tay's mentally ill veteran father a loony, blaming him for Tay's almost burned off ear. An enraged Tay tries to attack Milo, but the other boys restrain him. The four continue their hike, and Chris encourages Gordy to fulfill his potential as a rider, despite his father's disapproval. Later, Gordy and Vern are nearly hit by a passing train while crossing a trestle. In the evening, Gordy tells a story he created about the fictional character of David Lardass Hogan, an obese boy who is constantly bullied. Seeking payback, Lardass drinks a bottle of castor oil and eats a raw egg before entering a pie eating contest. During the contest, Lardass hurls up deliberately, which leads to a mass vomiting among the other contestants and the audience. Gordy calls the event a barforama. Later that night, Chris tells Gory that he hates being associated with his family's poor reputation. He admits to having stolen milk money at school, but says he confessed his debt to a teacher and returned the money. Nevertheless, he was suspended from school because the teacher kept quiet and pocketed the money. Devastated by the teacher's betrayal, Chris breaks down and cries. The next day, the boys wade across a swamp, discovering that it is filled with leeches. Gory faints after removing a leech from his genitals. After Gory regains consciousness, the boys continue hiking and locate Ray Brower's body. They find, well, this traumatizes Gory, the discovery. After asking Chris why his brother Danny had to die, he cries, stating that his father hates him. Chris comforts Gory and asserts that his father simply does not know him. All right, now for the ending. As always, you know the procedure. You got 5 seconds to stop this video at once. Go to the description box below. Fast forward to the time below. As I count down now, if you've seen this movie already, please continue. Okay, you've been warned. Ace and his gang arrive to claim Ray's body and threaten to hurt the boys if they don't leave. When Chris refuses, Ace draws a switchblade. Gory uses Mr. Chambers' pistol to fire a warning shot and comes to Chris's defense. Ace demands that Gordy turn over the weapon, but Gordy refuses, calling Ace a cheap dime store hood. Ace vows revenge and leaves with his gang. Gordy and his friends decide that seeking recognition for finding Ray's body would be wrong. Instead, they report it anonymously. They arrive home the next morning and part ways. Back in 1985, Gordy is finishing a memoir about the events of Labor Day weekend in 1959. He notes that Vern and Tay drifted apart from him at Chris in junior high. Chris later became a lawyer, and Gordy eventually lost touch with him. Relu- well, recently, while attempting to break up a fight, Chris was stabbed to death. Gory writes that despite not having seen Chris in over a decade, he will miss him forever. He ends his narration with the following words: I never had any friends later on like the ones I had when I was 12. Jesus. Does anyone? End of story. So, what did I think of Stand By Me? Now, I must say, this is a great movie, and I think this is another good film that Rob Reiner gave to us. This exceptionally was very, very good. It eventually did well for Columbia, making 52 million worldwide on its $7.5 to $8 million budget. And eventually it did became a good one. The film's reviews were pretty good. It's at 88% on Rotten Tomatoes, where they say the film is a wise, nostalgic movie with a weird streak that captures both Stephen King's voice and the trials of growing up. Metacritic has a score 75, and the audience's public cinema score gave it an A. Walter Goodman for the New York Times opined that Reiner's direction was rather self conscious, looking constantly at his audience. While the lead actors were individually likable, Goodman called the film a trite narrative and said that Reiner's direction hammers in every obvious element and obvious script. Dave Kerr wrote for the Chicago Tribune saying, Nothing natural there was nothing natural in the way Reiner has overloaded his film with manufactured drama. Sheila Benson for the LA Times called the film a treasure, absolutely not to be missed. Anyway, King himself was very impressed with the film, as he mentioned on the special features of the 25th anniversary Blu ray set. And well, he indicated that he considered the film to be the first successful translation to film of any of his works. According to an interview with Jen Siskel, Reiner recalled that after a private early screening of the film, King excused himself for 15 minutes to compose himself. He later returned to remark, That's the best film ever made out of anything I've read. Which isn't saying much, but you've really captured my story. It is autobiographical, excuse me. In a 2016 interview, King said that the film was his favorite adaptation of his work, alongside The Shawshank Redemption. Anyway, it got nominated for Best Drama and Best Director for Rob Reiner at the Golden Globes. And it also got nominated for Best Screenplay at the Academy Awards. Yeah. At the 8th Youth in Film Awards, the film received the Jackie Coogan Award for Outstanding Contribution to Youth Through Motion Picture, Ensemble Cast and Feature Film, which went to Wil Wheaton, River Phoenix, Corey Feldman, and Jerry O'Connell. I must say, all four of those guys did an absolute amazing job. Wil Wheaton as Gory, River Phoenix as Chris, Corey Feldman as Tay, and Jerry O'Connell as Vern. They were all very good and what have you, and I gotta admit, they were absolutely good. Next up, we have Kiefer Sutherland in one of his early films. Of course, this was still before he even did some other films after this, like The Lost Boys, and I think he did Young Guns right about the same time as this. I think I could be wrong though, but yeah, Casey Siemaszko as Billy, pretty good. Gary Riley as Charlie Hogan. Bradley Gregg, who, well, this was just before he even played Philip in Nightmare on Elm Street 3 Dream Warriors as Richard Eyeball Chambers. Yeah. Um, Now, playing Gory's parents are Marshall Bell as Mr. LaChance, and Mrs. LaChance was played by Frances Lee McCain, who had recently appeared in Gremlins and Footloose. Anyway, and yeah, we also have John Cusack as Denny LaChance, Gory's older brother, and as the adult Gory, credited as the writer, Richard Dreyfuss. So you got to admit the cast is pretty good. The score was composed by Jack Nitzsche, who absolutely did an amazing job. We get to hear all sorts of classic songs on there. Not just the theme song, but lots of other great tunes from the 60s and what have you, like Rockin' Robin, and oh, well, there's so many others to mention. But anyway, from what I've seen of Stand By Me, I think it's an amazing masterpiece of Rob Reiner's and a great coming of age film, a great story with great characters and great score and music and story and all that jazz. I absolutely really enjoyed it. So would I recommend Stand By Me? I would say hell yeah, go for it. This is a good film and it's just one of the greats. So what did you think of Stand By Me? Let me know in the comments section below. If you like this video, click the like button, subscribe, click the bell for notifications, and be a part of the Big D Nation. Continue to help support my channel and you know the rest. And join me tomorrow morning when I do my Saturday morning TV log on the show Fudge, based on Judy Blume's work. So if you like this, check out my reviews for some of these other films that were done by the works of Stephen King. Here's two other films that would be released through Columbia. In the upper left hand corner is my review of Christine, which was directed by John Carpenter. Or you can go to the upper right hand corner and see my recent re-review of Misery from 1990. Or if you'd like more of a drama from Mr. King's works, check out my review of The Green Mile in the bottom left hand corner. And the bottom right hand corner is the button you can click to subscribe if you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc. Then I'm your guy. Thanks for watching. Until next time, I'm the Big D saying, see ya.